Good morning, everybody. If you are recovering from narcissistic psychopathic abuse, I can recommend the dopamine reset that I'm doing. For me, I do it in a way that I experimented for years already with celibacy. So basically, what I did was making a virtue out of the isolation situation I was in, and I reject the competitive nature of the narcissistic psychopathic family cult, where everything is being weaponized, whether it's contact to children or sexual validation or contact to your friends, those that you love the most, because those are being weaponized and infiltrated as well and used against you. So I used isolation and made a virtue out of it and, so to speak, de-weaponized the weaponization of everything by saying, all right, it's my will, I will now make the best out of it and go on semen retention and use the benefits of it to propel my healing. So this is what I did for years, as well as withdrawal of the originally it was part of my lifestyle to smoke marijuana in a recreational way, and I experimented with putting this down also for years, and now since 1 year I went on, it's like as if I played with it, but now I'm serious about it since 1 year. No, not 1 year, that's not true. I'm really serious about it since a few months. And now it seems like a small step, or as if it doesn't matter, but the last substance I'm taking was coffee. Alcohol was never a topic, but I'm zero on alcohol. I reject it now completely as well. So I'm speaking of really zeroing. Also in the mind, there's a big difference, because as I told you, with the smoking, I was like, yeah, I can stop smoking for 3 months, 4 months, but maybe I go back, and then I go back a little bit, and I'm playing with it. No, what I mean is you make the real step in your mind, and this gives a lot of power and clarity. But now the last substance that I take is coffee, or what I took, and I would recommend, if you're struggling with especially nervous system, narcissistic psychopathic abuse, try to go zero on coffee, at least for a while. We were also talking on my channel about the broken heart syndrome. You can GPT it. I think it was a Japanese person who, I can't remember the name and the Japanese name for it, who explored this and researched it. It's a true and potentially deadly disease for the heart, coming from heartbreak. So if you're discarded by a psychopathic narcissistic family cult and you lose contact to your children, it can cause something like that. And the problem is that it is, research has shown that when you fight this form of narcissistic psychopathic abuse, in the process you must become a little bit narcissistic as well, or more narcissistic to fight it, because there is a person that wants to erase you. There is a cruel, empty person that is completely insecure and wants to erase you. Therefore, to claim back your reality, to insist on your truth, you must use the same measures in some regard. And when, the thing is, the abuse of a psychopath and the use of a covert narcissist is very subtle. It's like 1,000 cuts plus coercive control that is subcriminal. So there is no real proof for it, but you feel it. And then when you, as a humble, upright person, start to realize that nobody believes you, or then you say, all right, then I must stand up myself, then I have to do it myself. And when you then show this form of weaponization and aggression that you need to insist on your identity, then people say, then people start to protect the narcissists, okay? And say, oh, you're weaponizing everything against them, they are the victims. And this is the point that really breaks you in some way, because then you feel abandoned by the whole world, because they take position for the wrong side, actually. And this is where you become insecure, because you said, I came so far, I preserved my sense of self, my self-confidence, my empathy, all my human, my moral core, my identity core. And as a result, I was discarded by a cult-like structure that does not accept these traits because they are different. They are empty. All right, the psychopath is an empty facade with 100 faces, and a covert narcissist is an absence of real human traits, but acting of fantasies. And this is the moment when you think, that's the moment that really makes you insecure, when you feel that the world overtakes and sees them as equals. They are not equal. They are evil and bad and dysfunctional. Everything you're not. But the world protects them. They hide. They are cowards. And that's the moment where you struggle with, do I become like a narcissist? Do I become bitter? Do I break on this? What do I do now, right? So, and yeah, as I also said, the broken heart syndrome, the problem is your empathy keeps getting used against you, because, these people are indifferent that their children lose one parent for 1 year, let's say in this case for 1 year. But if I would break in the process, my children would have lost me forever. And they're indifferent about it. Who cares? And then when you return, I still have my kids now 50% only. So my kids have lost me 50% of the time. And I cannot be replaced, especially not by a bunch of bullshit, okay? So, and there is an indifference about it, and this is absolutely not seen as an offense or an aggression in the world, or as a dysfunction, even though this shows the face of the psychopath 100% clearly. So all of this, and then people framing this as, these people who do things like that covertiously, subcriminal, subliminal, with all dirty tricks in the playbook, and then presenting the facade of a pseudo-mutual family, and then people taking position for them and framing you as the problem. That's what makes people narcissistic and insecure, because you've got gaslit by a psychopath. You have been exposed to the malignant shared fantasy of a covert narcissist, which also research has shown this creates severe damage. This creates severe damage, okay? And you went through all of this, you withstood it, you removed yourself from it, you de-escalated the situation for the best of everyone. And then people pretend that now they can go back to normal, and the real victims are the psychopath and the narcissist, and you were some kind of problem. That's really what makes you doubt in yourself. That's really where you, or doubt in the world. You think that everybody is, I don't know, narcissistic or psychopathic, and this insecurity exactly is the core of narcissism. This is the reason why the narcissists had to attack you, because they're insecure in your presence. They're insecure in the presence of a real human being who has everything they can't have. And now, because this is a effective projection mechanism, if you get discarded and invalidated even by the world. This is why so many people struggle with the abuse and to overcome it, and why they gaslight themselves into being narcissistic, because they feel like the only way to defend oneself against such an existential threat, where your human side is being invalidated and amputated inside a shared fantasy first, but then projected in the world, and the world will validate this point of view, make no mistake about it. The world will be infected by the contagious projected reality of the narcissistic psychopathic family cult. Okay? They can frame it that way. Especially a talented psychopath can. And this is where you really second guess yourself. It's a vital phase for your recovery, and I can recommend to play serious now in this time, to really also put away the coffee and really feel your nervous system the way it is on a full reset. It helps very much, I think. It helps very much, I think. That's all I can say. And I would also recommend that you educate yourself about the true self and the false self. Everybody has it. It's, let's say, maybe it's akin to the persona we project, and in different roles we project a persona. We play roles everywhere, but there's also a true self, and we must connect to that and insist on it and ask ourselves, which things do I do in my life for my true self, and when am I acting from my false self? So this raises awareness, so that you at least have control and you monitor when you're acting based on what self.